Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, and this is Pearls of Wisdom in Food with Keto, Carnivore, Carnivish. We talk about things like nighttime eating, overeating, binging, the difference between the three food programs, how we handle it, OMAD, TUMAD, all kinds of stuff. We aren't here to solve the world's issues. We just like to keep it very close to ourselves with what we need in our life to keep going, to either lose weight, maintain weight, get more healthy, give up the meds, get rid of the chronic diseases of obesity, all that fun stuff. Yeah, that's what we do. And so today, I have a client that is vexed with, once you give up the going back for seconds, the overeating, the eating when stressed. How many hands are going up out there? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Me too. Well, you're talking about me, aren't you? What was successful as a replacement for that? I know that you know, I was an overeater. I pretty much was a stress overeater. I pretty much had a lot of bosses from hell. So I would start planning what I was going to going to eat after my dinner, just to eat back at them. I did many eat backs at people. Have you ever done that? Yep. I did that for years, and it really didn't get me very far. Um, I think I think it was the wheat belly diet that made me give up that sugar for that after dinner thing that I was doing. And I never saw it, always seemed ludicrous to me to overeat carrots and celery sticks after my meal. So I think probably what I was doing initially with my low carb, high fat, which turned into keto under 20, which turned into keto under 10, which turned into a carnivish sort of thing, and then a strict carnivore for a number of months, and now I'm back to carnivish. But what worked was making sure there was enough fat and or protein in my OMAD. I don't know, which was more, and to this day I still don't, what's more satiating, the fat content of my meal or the protein content of my meal. I would think that the protein that I eat lasts longer, and the fat is more quickly, satiating and gives me that feeling of contentment. I'm not going to give up one, to see, if it's that one or not. But I know that adding a little more to my OMAD plate, or TUMAD when I was TUMAD, is what makes the difference for me now. But it was so long ago, I had to go back and say, how did I get away from this? The wheat and the sugar that I used to have all the time, it was like an entitlement almost. It was like the reward for working in that situation all day and putting up with that person. I always, it was a reward. What can I tell you? My life was like that kind of simple. It didn't take much to have to line up that reward. And ironically, I was having the after dinner treat like 3 times a week, right? And then, on the days like, I don't know, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday, when I didn't have the treat, all of a sudden issues came up that could warrant the treat. Any of you familiar with that? Yeah. So anyway, then when I switched to the low carb, high fat, I had my little version of fat bombs, and I, transferred it. I'm going to have them 3 days a week. They really are good. It works. And then, of course, my addict started saying, 3 days a week? Come on. I want you to have them every day of the week. And so I knew when my addict starts pounding and hammering me about doing something like that, that I needed to do something about that, right? Because I wasn't going to go to 4, 5, 6, 7 times a week. And the 3 times a week only reinforced my my addiction to sweet because the things that I was having in the low carb, high fat bomb type thing weren't, pure white sugar by any means, but, it had all the makings of, how it gets. And I knew that I'd reached that dangerous precipice again, where it's like you are addicted to these little nuggets of fat and other things. And so, you need to put the fat back into the meal that you had before it. And like, as much as I didn't want to, I knew that I had to, that it just, I can't have something 3 days a week. I can't. I can't have something 5 days a week because the other 2 days I'm going, yep, it's time for it. So, fortunately for me, I'm easily amused, entertained, and placated by just changing up my food plan. I went to strict carnivore for the last 8 to 10 months to back to a carnivish way of eating where I have things like cottage cheese, asparagus, some raspberries. What else did I tried? I tried lettuce. Lettuce didn't like me anymore. So a couple of more carnivish sort of things. And when I'm talking like having the asparagus, it's 3 of them. When I'm talking raspberries, it's having 4 of them. But they seem to satisfy, and like I had them both yesterday in that pretty plate that I did, that square glass plate. But it doesn't mean that I woke up today saying, now what am I going to build my asparagus and my raspberries around today, right? Doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that I'm building up cravings and triggers and must-haves and getting back into trouble again. So today, my food plan is a 2-egg omelet with 2 slices of Munster cheese and a pork chop that was smoked on the big green egg, and it will be finished off in the air fryer. And that'll be a totally satiating meal with none of the things that I had from the day before pulling at me as you have to have this. You simply have to. My addict is very, very tricky, as I'm sure that your addict is very, very tricky. Fortunately for me, about a year ago, I gave up sweet in my coffee. I was having alternative sugars, meaning erythritol and xylitol in my coffee. And I felt that that was an okay thing to shift up. And so, but then all of a sudden I realized I'm having it every day and I'm not really, it's not even an enjoyment anymore. And so I gave them up. I've cut back on the Keto non-dairy coffee creamer that's unsweetened now. And instead of having 15 grams of fat like ghee or butter or coconut oil, I'm now having like 5 grams of the fat in my coffee. So I'm still tweaking and still changing, but I know that I always have to be careful of the addict thinking that having something 2 days in a row means it's a new habit, it's a new routine, and it starts to get delighted and do the happy dance because it thinks I'm having it more all the time and so forth. So I was wondering for my client and others here, that just have that thing, what do you do to get rid of that need for seconds, or you think you're still hungry, or you're afraid to start the night eating kind of thing again if it's been tamed a little bit? It's hard. And she just wanted to know, is there something that people do besides adding more fat and protein to the meal before it, do that makes you not want to go back for more, that's not food? I thought it was a really good question because I don't know. I go from my food, my OMAD at between 2 and 3 in the afternoon, to my dental hygiene routine where it says, you done, girly? You done, girly? Done with the food. Go floss. Go do the the electric toothbrush deal, who do what you have to do. But you were done. What was on your plate, you ate, and that's that. Get over yourself and get over what you think is a need because it's not there. You're you're imagining it. I've never imagined hunger before. Have you? Oh, God. So I had to change a lot of the habits as well as some of the foods because my body was just used to the treat and not a good place to be. What is your alternative? What is your substitute? What is your replacement? Mine is to make sure that the meal has enough. I still use my chronometer to track I shouldn't say I still use, I've just started using it again as I've added more carnivish sort of items, and it's working for me. I know I put on weight when I was doing just carnivore because I was eating more meat, and it was just until the day that it said my body said no, you can't do this anymore. You've hit your full button, you've hit your enough button, and so I've started substituting things, lower fat content, beef, having chicken breast every now and then. I don't know. It's working, but it's a personal tweak, just like yours are personal tweaks, where suddenly you realize, wow, I'm having this every day. And for some of us, that's a good, safe measure, right? You have the same thing every single day and you don't get into trouble. It's just like, this is what I have Monday through Friday when I'm working, and it works. And then for some of us, we need to tweak it a little bit because all of a sudden we go, that sour cream, it's not really working for me. And having it with pork rinds is like suddenly becoming, a habit, have every day. And I don't want to have those sort of things. In fact, I never had pork rinds and sour cream. But, for those of us that do, because they're both technically legal, right? I'm just going to keep doing the air thing all day long. That's it. So, what have you done as a replacement when you think that you're eating enough, but your addict is saying, another serving? Why don't you go back and have another serving? How do you handle it without food? Thanks so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food, with Keto, Carnivore, Carnivish, what works for you, what doesn't anymore, what we do to replace things and fix bad habits and just straighten it all out while the world spins. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.